Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're coming down to the last couple days of the month, which means...
No, this is the last day of the month.
This is the 30th?
Yeah.
There's not 31 days in November?
Nope.
Man, what a rip. In December there are. All right,
yes.
Today's the last day of the month. So if you're watching this and you want to get in on the Friendo Care Package for $20 on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We don't talk about this a lot, but I feel like we should give more. We got this amazing Going In Raw comic book that I whipped up like a couple of years ago, but it's still relevant. It's a timeless story that's being told.
It really is, and it's a story that can only be told within the pages of comic book. It costs way too much money to make that into a major motion picture. Billions of dollars have to be sunk into that film.
There's an eye that's rocketing into space. Do you know how much it would cost for like a movie to do that?
Well, here's the thing. We want it all practical. We want a giant eye practical, not CG.
We'd reach out to Elon Musk.
The cosmos.
Elon Musk would help us with this.
Hey, Elon Musk, can you put this giant eyeball on the next launch of SpaceX?
If we made it into
so we
a
can
movie.
Shoot movie.
So you get that. You like the we got the on the live stream. Whenever we do a live stream, you got the little shot. You want these stickers? You want these as stickers? Our faces as stickers? Why wouldn't you? They're there. Also, with the $20 care package, you get the red Friendo Club logo sticker. And for as long as we still have them, because I'm not going to reorder these things, the old school Going In Raw logo.
That makes them a limited edition.
Limited edition. We're all about the new, so we're getting rid of those. Probably going to change this postcard when I'm run out of these too. You get a postcard here as well. But that's not it. You also get, for as long as we have them, these Friendo Fest 2019 picture.
That's genuinely
flyers.
Limited edition. That's
we were just going around
edition.
StarCast handing these things out to people back when you were allowed to hang out with people. And then this is not signed, but I'm going to sign it. You're going to sign it. It's an 8x10 of us just standing there. We're just standing here, just doing that, being really close to each other, which again you can't do anymore. So yeah, $20 on Patreon, patreon.com/Steve Larson. So check that out.
Yes, please.
Anyways, yeah. How was your weekend?
What did I do? I didn't do much.
I didn't do anything. It was great.
Came home Saturday.
Did a whole lot of nothing. Recorded a new That's Not Scary podcast late last night with Lacey. Very tired edition.
Good.
So yeah. Anyways, let's just hop right into the news.
Sure.
We got a couple of news bits. Not a heavy wrestling news weekend.
Well, I think this first story could have some impact, definitely short term. Let's just dive right into it. So, Wrestling Observer is reporting that the reason Braun was suspended by the WWE following his attack on Adam Pearce on last Monday's Raw, of course, if you recall, he headbutted Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce got a really bad fake bruise on his skull because of it, and Braun was suspended due to the injury. However, Braun is not actually suspended, of course. He is being written off TV because, again, according to Wrestling Observer, he has a knee injury. Wrestling Observer adds that Braun was originally slated to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE title at TLC, but it appears he will miss that show due to this injury. We'll get to it more in our Raw preview. Tonight, we get Riddle versus Keith Lee versus AJ Styles. Winner of that, number one contender, to face Drew at TLC. Before news broke that Braun was in line for a title shot, I think we both said AJ Styles, and I really see no reason to why AJ won't come out of that match the winner still at this time.
Did you see there was a video? I think I was looking at what's his name, Robert Sodutua on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at his, and I think he had like a retweet or a link to a video from Survivor Series when Jay went flying out the ring and he flew onto everybody. And you see Braun go down and he holds his knee immediately. I wonder if that spot might have hurt it, might have exacerbated something that was already there. He always looks like he's, he does the running around the ring thing, which I'm sure if he didn't feel like he could do it, he probably would say something, even though it is a very popular spot. And I mean, he only runs for like 10 seconds. But when he does, whenever he runs, he looks like his knees are in pain.
I will say this. Since he dropped some weight and got more cut, he looks more comfortable running and such. Back before that, there was a spell there where it literally hurt to watch him walk. Because it seemed like he was in so much pain. It seemed like since he lost some weight and got jacked, super jacked, he looked a bit more comfortable. So it's a bummer that they seem to have this kind of different take on Braun now, where he's kind of going back to being a monster, and to see that kind of cut short due to injury, that's never fun. And hopefully this injury isn't too serious. He'll be back relatively quickly. Speaking of someone who was gone for a while and seemingly just came back a while ago, we got some news on Lars Sullivan. Steve, what's this all about?
So, dude, we don't mention ringside news very much for a variety of reasons, but they do have a story it's just too good for us to pass up, man. According to them, Lars Sullivan's situation is not one where he is in line for a push. We have been told that there is currently, quote, nothing for him. One tenured member of the creative team noted that Sullivan's situation is just typical falling through the cracks. How he debuted with such...
You mean re-debuted or debuted?
He re-debuted, sorry. He re-debuted with seemingly a lot of steam behind him. You know, coming out, destroying people.
I don't think that's the issue from a creative standpoint. I think those two interviews they had him do, which were virtually the same interview, I guess they thought maybe if he had another crack at it, he'd do better the second time, or the writing would be better the second time. Problem was, the writing was not better the second time. Neither of those interviews were very good. Neither of them came off very good. I don't think there's a whole lot of excitement about those interviews. And I wonder if, in typical Vince fashion, rather than point the finger at himself, it was a situation where, like, well, Lars, I gave you such good shit, and you did nothing with it. That's on you.
Boy, that'd be... Here's the funny thing is, it's funny because chat immediately starts lighting up with their sentiments about Lars, and I've heard plenty on Twitter about Lars and our YouTube comments. I seem to be the lone defender of the guy. I find the total package of Lars Sullivan pretty fascinating, or at least worthy of consideration for a quality spot on the roster.
You know what it is, though? I think a lot of that goes back to his old entrance in NXT where he'd point his buttocks at the ring.
Nah, man, I know that was good stuff, and I got a kick out of that. I thought it was hilarious. Anytime anybody points their asshole at somebody, I think it's hilarious because it is. That being said, I don't know how much of people's perception of him is tainted, and understandably so, by the myriad outside activities that Lars has engaged in, and stories that have been reported on him and message board posts and this, that, and the other. I totally get that, and I'm there. I'm pretty much there. I sort of, I don't know. I'm not going to start hemming and hawing and debating over like what other superstars that have been getting pushed and what their outside activities have entailed are more maybe egregious than his in my own mind. I'm not really going to go there. I do sort of think about that stuff. But just on the whole, what Morrow used to call the guy a Jack Kirby monster come to life. I mean, if he was a model citizen backstage and in his life that we've seen, right? If none of that stuff had happened, would people's perception be different about him? I don't know. What I see on camera with him, I really appreciate. I think he has a distinct, unique way of talking, of delivering promos. I thought that back in NXT, he was this sort of odd dichotomy of a guy who could be really soft-spoken and wear polo shirts on the outside, and then on the inside of the ring be this really freakish monster. I see there's a lot to work with there. If his outside activities has tainted him, so be it. In the minds of Vince or other people, so be it. But if Vince didn't mind that stuff, if he was okay living with it, and he didn't find anything for him creatively, that does kind of boggle my mind, because I see a lot that you can work with there if you're strictly speaking about what's going on in the ring.
Yeah, I think if Vince was bothered by any of the outside the ring stuff, he wouldn't have come back. right before the draft. So in my mind, it seems to indicate that the issue is less that stuff and more just whatever he's been doing now. And that, as far as we know, the only stuff he's been doing of late has been in front of the camera with those interviews,
Gary, yeah, I agree. Gary MacArthur says Steve just likes him because he looks like level 1 Rawgate mutant. Totally could be the truth, because he totally does. No, I agree. I think the interview stuff was terrible. It was
bad.
terrible. It really was. And
really
if it was
bad.
supposed to be his Mankind coming out party interview, I mean,
it failed miserably.
he was failed by creative miserably, because neither of those interviews were any good. They weren't going to accomplish anything. And maybe Vince feels, hey, we tried this twice. Creative couldn't nail. I mean, I wonder if sometimes it's a matter of Vince thinking it's not the guy. It's if creative can't bring something for him, then he's just sort of SOL. You know what I mean? He's just sort of shit out of luck, because if we don't have the people to facilitate a creative, some good creative for him, then what are we going to do? Just stick him out there and have him keep on squashing Jeff Hardy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's so, that's super unfortunate for the performer. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I was kind of shocked that he wasn't even in that battle royal that you had picked him to win.
Yeah. That'd been a perfect place for him.
It really was. Yeah, it was like the perfect place. Apparently, that's some proof in this particular pudding.
Potentially, yeah. Let's talk about something that's pretty exciting, although there is some bittersweet news to be had from this. Triplemania 28 coming up December 12th. AAA held their pre-Triplemania press conference today, announced the full card for the show. So we had heard of some of these. Of course, hair versus hair, Pagano versus Chessman. The Mega Championship bout between Kenny Omega and the Laredo Kid. The Marvel Lucha Libre special match. We'd heard about those. Announced today. You got Psycho Clown, Monster Clown, and Murder Clown versus Blue Demon Jr., L.A. Park, and Hijo de L.A. Park. You got a women's Copa Triplemania, Fabi Apache versus Lady Maravilla versus Chick Tormenta versus Lady Shani versus La
Hiedra.
Thank you. Versus Hades. You got
I love
Pentagon.
Fabi Apache. She's like my absolute favorite. Before you continue, quick shout out to our good friendos over at Cultaholic, rating our Twitch stream
so
right
much.
now. Thank you so much. What's up, fellas? Hope you guys are doing great over there in the UK.
Yes. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix versus Octagon Jr. and Mysticis Jr. versus Tejano Jr. and Rey Escorpion. And then Steve's favorite,
Nino Hamburguesa, Mr. Iguana y Maximo versus Tito Santana. That's cool. Carta Brava Jr. y Mocho Cota Jr.
Exciting stuff. I can't wait.
Yeah, but there's
there's
some bad
a
news
downside.
Here, man.
One,
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
it appears AAA will only be streaming Triplemania on Facebook and YouTube. No Twitch co-streaming opportunities here. A bummer, but we will still watch it. We will still cover it because it's still the best show of the year.
I got a suggestion por mi amigo Larson.
Yeah?
Let's reach out. Listen, this is the thing. No English commentary. No commentary de inglés, right?
Yeah.
Why can't that be us? Why don't we reach out? Eora!
Hey, you have a
Eora!
contact. You have a contact someone within AAA, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he might be thinking we're trying to scoop, though. He might want in on this.
I don't know.
Listen,
man.
that would
way to
actually be
find
pretty
out.
hilarious. Let's reach out to AAA. Let's reach out to them.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get. Because look, here's the thing: if they're on Facebook and they're on YouTube, what speculate? Pure speculation, baseless speculation here on Going In Raw. Why wouldn't they be on Twitch?
I don't know.
Because it's not like I don't know if they'd have a deal with YouTube if they are also on Facebook. They're not going to have a deal with one of those streaming platforms.
Oh, I understand that.
If, because they're not owned by each other, like Facebook is owned by Google.
Yeah,
Facebook
I don't
is
know.
owned by-
I don't know, man.
Oh, man. So, I mean, if we're able to with permission, con permiso, to stream on our Twitch, and we're the official home of AAA.
Well, I mean, I think even if it's a situation, again, with their permission, they just don't want to do Twitch stuff. Why can't we just do it on YouTube? With their permission, of course.
Yeah, con permiso, right.
Yeah.
If we're allowed to do that, do it on YouTube. Yeah, well, we're looking at Jorge says AAA probably got a deal with Facebook streaming, but if they got a deal, they're not going to be on YouTube. That's not, I would think. I mean, they like exclusivo, man.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that. I don't. If it was just one service, then it might be, you'd think it'd be an exclusive thing, but it's not just one. There's two. So
Lucha Chef says DMCA issues. If they're, by the way, somebody needs to tell them. If they think they're going to be playing like Bon Jovi on YouTube as part of their shit will be pulled down. If you're going to get away with it, it's going to be here on Twitch. And even now with Twitch, that's even kind of shady. I don't know. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing on Twitch, man. My new thing I've been playing on my PS5 over here, thanks to Jmart.
Yeah.
I've been playing on my PS5 at night. And I'll turn on like a Twitch DJ, like a DJ on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right? So many of these DJs, they're still playing.
Yeah, I don't get
like music. I mean, granted, they'll mix it up a little bit and they'll make it a little bit of their own, but still, like the bass tracks often.
Yeah. It's stuff that a bot should be able to pick up.
It's like, here's 30 minutes of Depeche Mode. Cool. I love Depeche Mode. I think they're great. I'll listen to that. But how are they not being taken down?
Don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. Some things we do know, there is actually some of Raw written for tonight. So let's get into this preview before we start answering some questions. First, as mentioned earlier in the show, we get a triple threat, or as they're dubbing it, a sudden death triple threat showdown. Keith Lee versus Riddle versus AJ Styles. Winner will face Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. I don't know
what does this sudden death mean.
I mean, any triple threat match, it's like the first pinfall, you win the match. I don't know what this sudden death aspect is.
What does that
I read
mean?
the thing about it. I don't know. I think they're just trying to make it sound more exciting.
It also says, don't miss an exclusive interview with WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. He usually does several interviews during the course of a night.
Yeah,
usually
man.
There's like one official one that kicks off whatever action he's going to be in, and then there are several leading up to said action.
Which
So that's
usually
not
culminates
shocking.
the main event segment. We get a Symphony of Destruction match tonight between Jeff Hardy and Elias. More
Can
of
I
this story. Get
Can I
excited.
make a prediction? I'm going to make a prediction here. This will all culminate. Hold on a second. I got to check my thing here. No, I don't want that. What day of the week is, I think it's on Friday. Isn't Christmas on a Friday this year?
Yeah. So that'd be an episode of SmackDown.
Okay, well, they're still going to have a Christmas-themed Raw,
You have
even
the
though it's
Miracle or the Malice on 34th Street Fight or something like that.
that's going to be
Miracle on 34th Street
be these two. That's going to be
No,
these,
it's gonna
and that's
be
a month from now.
It's going to be a tambourine. I don't know, something, a musical instrument that starts with an L in a simple match.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. This is going to keep on going and going and going. I wonder, what would be nice, though? It'd be really nice, a story beat where Jeff Hardy's able to prove that it wasn't him driving that car.
I know.
That'd be cool.
Like, there's a police report. Produce a police report. Mm-hmm. Find some security camera footage.
Yeah.
From the PC,
Yeah.
Also, Randall Keith Orton will appear on A Moment of Bliss, setting up, of course, a match between Randall Keith Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he was on A Moment of Bliss like a month ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
He's a frequent guest.
Yeah. He's like their Rob Reiner on Carson. Wasn't it Rob Reiner used to be on there all the time?
I don't know.
Who was on Carson a lot? Jay Leno was on Carson a lot.
Yeah, he was a guest host whenever.
But then he was also like a stand on there a lot, I think, and that's why
Gotcha.
he was able to get the show over Letterman. I wonder how much history would have changed if Letterman would have got that show.
That would have been interesting, man.
Probably not a lot. Anyways, let's answer some Friendo questions. What do you say?
Sure.
Geez, all that only took 20 minutes? Wow.
Questions. Here we go. B-Man, Patrick Sparks. What group of wrestlers would you get to make a 5-person personal trainer group to get you into the best shape?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, you get your CrossFit in.
Yeah.
John Cena, he's always like enormously jacked.
Sheamus. He's got those great Celtic workouts.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan. Because he'll work on flexibility and stuff.
That's good. Do the animal moves. Yeah, that's good.
And then...
I would go with what about like Peyton Royce? She was like peak physical, like because she won a couple of those bodybuilding things, or she placed anyways in a couple of those bodybuilding things.
Okay.
Let's see here. Nope. Where is the? Gee whiz.
NJWP should all cruiserweight wrestlers be allowed to compete on NXT 205 and thus challenge for the title? I mean, around the world or just under WWE's umbrella?
I'm going to guess that NJWP means anybody under 205. So like the entire Undisputed Era, like everybody who is technically that weight. Now, like I there's just a perception difference. Like in New Japan, you sort of declare that you're moving on to heavyweights. And then B, usually that signifies a physical change as well. Like, for example, Will Ospreay is
usually,
jacked.
yeah, they put on the muscle to at least, make it seem like they're 220 pounds, whatever the heavyweight limit is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I know, like, they made kind of a big deal out of it, I think, or at least it was part of the story when Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, was challenging Okada. Because they were like trying to say, hey, let's I thought they made that sort of the story. Like he was going into that with like the cruiserweight title, or maybe Gato had the cruiserweight. I don't know who had the cruiserweight title. Anyways.
Okay.
Next.
Anthony Tobias with War Games this weekend. Will there be one or two more matches added to the card? Thanks, Friendo. So there's 2 War Games matches, men's and women's. There's North American title triple threat. So that's 3. Has anything else been announced yet? Thought there had been. I mean, the War Game matches typically go pretty long.
So there's
right now
Loomis,
there's 4.
There's
Dexter,
Loomis versus Grimes.
Yeah, for the strap match. So that might be it. Because
the 2 War Games.
Those War Game matches tend to go pretty long.
Yeah.
So it'll probably just be 4. A usual TakeOver has 5 matches. They might do 6 sometimes, but usually it's just 5. Sean Barlow, fantasy booking time. Samoa Joe wins the Rumble. How would you book him versus Roman at Mania?
I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously, you do something with the family. I'm trying to think what angle to take, what sort of tack to take, what story beat to take there.
I mean, to a certain respect, I could see they could have gone the route of Samoa Joe kind of doing what Kevin Owens is doing now, just being openly defiant. That's kind of what you got to do with Roman. Granted, you can't go to that well every time.
No, and I think with Samoa Joe, obviously, I mean, you can try to take the tact of, well, I'm Samoa Joe, there's something there,
Yeah.
There's something there you can use. Let's see here. The Jostler. If you were to go on a low-calorie diet, pick a healthy dinner and a low-calorie snack to satiate your hunger, what would Cameron Grimes kayfabe eat? Yeah, are we picking this for Cameron Grimes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like roadkill. Right? It would just be like raw roadkill.
Oh, my goodness.
I just feel like he's got that vibe. Just gnawing on a dead squirrel.
All right, very well. Nick, with possibility of Asuka and Lana challenging for the tag titles at TLC, is it safe to say Creative failed to build up challengers for her? I'm assuming her means Asuka. Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Do you think it's?
I think hold on. I think they're spinning their wheels on that until Charlotte comes back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wonder if it's less. I don't think they feel pressured to do so because Charlotte's coming back. I think that they're intentionally holding off on doing anything with her until Charlotte comes back. That's just the feeling I get. I
Yeah,
think I get that same feeling. Yeah.
Same. Noob and Company, do you think Asuka's feud with Shayna Baszler will lead up to Ronda Rousey return at the 2021 Royal Rumble? I mean, there's a possibility that happens. I mean, I guess I'd like to see, real concrete steps for a Asuka Shayna Baszler feud. I think if they did that and refer to, them being the two most dominant champions in NXT history, that could be pretty good.
There was that rumor we heard a while ago that, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, that, God, was it a rumor that Asuka versus Ronda Rousey was supposed to be the Mania match?
Oh, really?
Thought I heard that somewhere, but don't quote me on it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a I mean, it's a distinct possibility. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Wrestling Graham, is The Rock capable of giving Tribal Chief cry face?
Not now.
No.
Not now.
No.
No, the way I'm sorry, but the way, number one, I mean, we saw The Rock have cry face with John Cena. That should be the question. Could John Cena? And I don't think he could. I think Roman's character right now and his performance and his complete command of that character is such that nobody's giving him cry face.
Nope. I'm just trying to do something. Which commentary team would Snoop Dogg fit the best in? So apparently he was really good on commentary during that boxing card of the weekend. Yeah,
I was watching with the mods. It was interesting. It was something else.
Well, I'd say SmackDown, simply because they only have a 2-person commentary team. Raw has a 3-person commentary team. Snoop Dogg on SmackDown.
Also, there's some story built in there. Who always loves to come by commentary, Bailey, and give Michael Cole some problems. Bailey's big, rivalry, Sasha Banks, Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yep. Panda Police Club, after not watching WWE or AEW for about a month, is there anything really good I'm missing at the moment? Should I go out of my way to watch anything since Hell in a Cell or from AEW in the past month? There were some good matches at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, there were.
This week's AEW will probably be pretty interesting. With the Kenny and Mox match going down, that should be really good.
Full Gear had some good matches.
Yeah,
it had Kenny versus Hangman. The Hangman Page stuff lately has been really good. I mean, Full Gear was more like story beats than great matches. You had MJF and Jericho. It didn't have a great match. It was a good match, and it landed MJF a spot in Inner Circle. So that's been interesting to watch.
Drew, when Seth returns after Becky's pregnancy, do you see him returning as a face to challenge Roman? How would you both book his return?
Face challenge Roman. No, he's not going to get back as a face. No, they tried that. They tried that. He's not going to be a face.
I mean, he's better as a heel, so he shouldn't be a face.
I mean, I guess there's a way you can make him more of a tweener and retain. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The whole Monday Night Messiah gimmick, or whatever they're calling it nowadays on SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown Savior, I think is what it was.
There you go. I don't really know that even works as a tweener.
No, I don't think it does. Will Combs, what will Jey Uso get for Christmas this year? Well, he's got about another month to prove his bona fides.
He'll get tears.
He'll get a lump of coal,
and probably a verbal lashing in front of his family.
Yeah. Sober Chad, this is an interesting question. Which wrestler would get the biggest pop by beating Reigns for the Universal title?
So, I mean, there's a list of them. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. The thing is, it would have to be a very, very long-term situation.
Yes.
It would have to be that. I mean, you saw how much time they took with Daniel Bryan versus The Authority. It would have to be, until WrestleMania 30, it would have to be on par with that.
Yeah. The names you mentioned, I still think if they start really doing something with Big E, he would get a massive pop for beating Roman. Easy. Do you like the way they are treating Finn in the belt while he obviously can't go, or does NXT feel kind of directionless without a fighting top male champion? They kind of, I don't know if this was fortuitous in terms of scheduling, or they once they realized Finn was out, they're like, oh hey, we got to do War Games. Either way, it kind of benefits them that War Games is happening now because that's your obvious main event, and you don't need your champion in it, so he could take some time still to recuperate. As a whole, I kind of feel like NXT is just kind of treading water creatively. Not to say it's bad, but I don't really feel like there's, we kind of got spoiled with the Gargano Ciampa story. I understand that's kind of like a once in a generation storyline. You can't have those kind of storylines going all the time. I mean, I just don't think it's possible to have stories that go on that long with that level of detail happening on a regular basis. But it really does spoil you because when they do stuff, when they're in a period now where it seems like they're between injuries and stuff, they're kind of a bit of a reloading phase.
Mm-hmm.
That there'll be good episodes, but there'll be episodes where like, man, they're just really treading water, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of momentum, if you will, behind NXT from a creative standpoint.
Yeah, I wonder if Pat McAfee was a necessity that they called in a favor. I mean, it's War Games, so they did. I don't know. I do think that it's lacking that top line. I mean, they have been lucky in that they've had an A story with the Pat McAfee stuff, and now with the Undisputed Era being back. Mm-hmm. But Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, and Birch and Lorcan really are not A-level guys like to put out there for a story. Pete Dunne aligning himself with Pat McAfee doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. I mean, it does from the standpoint that he'd want to get back Undisputed Era. That I understand.
Yeah.
Specifically Roderick Strong. But yeah, the whole Pat McAfee association doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it kind of does. It's kind of obvious that the War Games thing is happening because Finn, he can't. They don't have a title scene right now. Mm-hmm. But that's just the way it is.
Yep. Mr. Bighead, with the Rumble coming up, would you like to see Bray pull a Foley and enter twice as Funhouse Bray and The Fiend? Yeah, sure. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come out early as Funhouse Bray, later on as Fiend. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be terrific.
Jason Lewis, you've discussed moments from this year you wish had been in front of fans, but what moments are you glad had no crowd? It says the Boneyard and Funhouse matches excluded. Anytime they've had something in the ring where they don't have mics, where they use camera audio or whatever, how they do it. Mm-hmm. It feels so intimate, far more real, far more genuine, like the Roman Drew contract signing, stuff like that. Just wouldn't work if fans were there because they would feel the need to have mics because otherwise people in attendance couldn't hear.
All the Roman J stuff, they've really taken advantage of that. Yeah, they really have. I wonder if that was because we've heard that Heyman's heavily involved in the creative there. I wonder if he understood, without fans, you could do some more interesting stuff with the audio. I'm much happier with Money in the Bank this year than I would have been normally because I thought that was just a blast. Like that's sort of it's between that and Firefly Funhouse. I thought they were both so inspired. They were so inspired.
Oh, let's sneeze.
Greg Morris, who is the next wrestler that could conceivably be the next to get the gender treatment? So like a guy out of nowhere getting like a big push, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody who would be like, no, that dude, he's not going to win nothing. I'm like running through names right now. I mean,
how about for a man, Aleister Black, because they ain't doing anything with him.
That would be pretty shocking. Yeah, I mean that's such a different thing though, because gender like really felt like with Aleister Black. Yeah, we've been waiting like 2 years now or a year and a half or whatever for them to pull the trigger on that. Yeah, I mean
Slapjack.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody at that level.
Dana Brooke.
There you go. That's a good answer. That's as good answer as any.
And Chad Gable.
Yeah, Chad Gable's another one of those guys where it's like, why aren't they doing more with him? Like, I never thought about that with Jinder. I never thought, why aren't they doing more with Jinder?
Yeah, no. Sean Lathrop, who is more likely to bring Alexa out of the Fiend's control, Braun or Nikki? Has to be Nikki.
It's got to be Nikki. That's the story right there.
Nikki.
That's the story.
Samuel Bronkowitz. So now that The Undertaker is officially done, what is his final grade in going in Raw math?
It couldn't have changed from what we had it before, whatever that was. It's probably a high 7, right?
Let's see. Being good. So in ring.
So like I was never a fan of his in-ring work, but like his last couple, like, you know, for the last that period of time when he did the 4 years of HBK and Triple H.
Great.
That was great.
7 in-ring work.
Okay, cool. 7.
Promos, they're kind of hit or miss.
6 promo.
Look is a 10 though.
Look is a 10. That dude has got the look.
So that's 23 divided by 3. That's 7 plus. Legacy.
At least a 9, right? I mean, would you go as high as 10?
It's a 10, man. It's a 10, man.
It's the perfect legacy.
Kayfabe is probably a 9. He wasn't winning titles. He was like basically unbeatable. All right, he's an 8 plus then. 8 plus.
That sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah.
Dalen Dula, you have been contacted by all the major shoe companies who are putting their differences aside to design the ultimate pro wrestling shoes. They want your input. Wrestling is no object, and time is not a factor. The only limit is your imagination. What features do your shoes have? You need ultimate ankle support. So
yeah, I'll leave this one to you. You're the aficionado.
I mean, I guess if money is no object and we have plenty of R&D time. Something even more shock absorbent than say or has a higher energy return than Adidas Boost technology, because we get a higher energy return. In theory, it can make you jump higher. So essentially, I want to develop flubber for the shoes. But you know, something that's relatively controllable. So you know, you do a little hop and you're not bouncing 10 feet in the air. You don't want that. And then, although a lot of wrestlers, like wrestling shoes, they're pretty thin in terms of the soles, you know? Not a lot of them have thick soles. So I don't know if that's preferable for wrestlers. Even like amateur wrestling shoes have pretty thin soles, and might be preferable just so you actually feel, you know, like your feet grip to the ground. So I think number one thing I do is do a lot of research in terms of what wrestlers want from their shoes. 2, ankle support, and something for good energy return. Those would be the 3 things, I think.
You had me at flubber.
Well, that's the ideal. If we can develop some sort of flubber type technology.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure if we utilize Rawgate technology, we can find the proper chemical balance for flubber.
Yes. Mr. Biff Top Johnny, would Roman Reigns' current run as champion work with a live crowd? Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to change things. I would legitimately be curious. I still think the other night, somebody asked sort of a question like this. I still think that Chicago and Philly would cheer him, and he'd have to figure out a way to try to battle that a little bit.
Yeah, who knows?
Because they would taunt the crap out of Jay. Oh, yeah. You're a crier, you know.
Mr. Dope says, should Nate Robinson retire from everything? Of course, he got knocked out.
Oh, did you see the clip?
I saw the I did. I saw the punch that knocked him out. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Don't mess with YouTubers, man. I guess. Right. Wow.
Never would have thought it.
That was pretty shocking. Yeah, the Tyson match was something to witness.
He looked like he was in great shape, though.
And at the end of the match, he looked like he barely, broke a sweat. And Roy Jones Jr. looked like he had broke a lot of sweats. He was.
Yet it was still a draw for some reason, huh?
Man, I guarantee that was contractual.
Probably.
I guarantee that was contractual.
Unless someone got knocked out. Yeah.
Unless somebody got knocked out. It was probably contractual. That would not shock me at all. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around for a little bit. I think Mr. Dope said something about a raid request. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, live power rank, vintage 10 for the wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.